In a suburban fantasy world, two elven brothers embark on a great quest to find a phoenix gem to perform a spell to be able to see their dead dad one last time. A very touching entry from Pixar, and pretty much the last big movie to come out this year, as of now, as of probably ever. The way it's looking, this might be it. Launched on Disney Plus this past Friday for everyone to see. A film that should have been way bigger than it was, but circumstances happened. Well, let's get into it. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And I'm Austin Johnson.
Welcome to a streaming edition of Filmgazm. So, let's address the elephant in the room right now. We are unable to meet due to the concerns over the coronavirus. It was going to happen to us eventually. We went as long as we could, doing it our normal way. So we are using Skype for the foreseeable future.
Yes, I think this is the smartest call. Seems like every podcast is doing it. We felt like we should just kind of follow in line and play with the rules like everybody else, right?
Yeah. And it's looking like, this is going to be okay for us. Sound quality is decent. That was the one big thing I was worried about. And now that we know we can do this, there's probably going to be a lot more special guests on this show. So stay tuned in the future for that. Good. We got that out of the way. So Onward, I got to see this at the movies. It was the last movie I saw in 2020. Yeah. And you just watched it on Disney Plus like just now. So what did you think?
Oh man, it was great. Just like most of Pixar's inputs, very touching, very good characters. The colors were incredible. Animation, again, just perfecto. Like you said, I didn't get to see it in theaters, this is the first time I didn't see a Pixar movie in the theater that I was really excited for, Yeah. Watching it on a much smaller screen. It was definitely different, the way it affected me. Whereas something like Inside Out, you see that on the giant screen with all the colors. It's just a different experience. But I'm very, very grateful that Disney Plus put it out there for us to watch. We already pay for the service. That was very nice of them, and I'm glad the world gets to enjoy it now. Because it is a great story, and it's just right up there with all the other great ones. I would put it right up there at the top.
Yeah, I've already spoken to a few people who say it's their favorite one.
Wow.
And that's pretty crazy considering their output over the years.
It's like over 20 films, and they all have something to offer.
They really do. Pixar's made me cry more than any studio.
Same. That's a good call. Yeah.
And this film was no exception. This was a real tearjerker, especially if you have a brother or if you didn't really know your father growing up. It's that kind of movie that really just hits you right here.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
And it was really cool the way they designed a fantasy world that evolved like ours. I thought that was so clever.
Yeah, me too. It was extremely good writing, and I also want to point out how good were Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, man.
God, the chemistry, I would have expected. We got a bit of that chemistry in Avengers Infinity War between those two. So it's no surprise that they were great, but oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was good to see him deliver like that. Yeah.
So great. One thing I was actually surprised at is that the film doesn't really have a bad guy.
You're right. You know what? When you really look down the line of Pixar, it's kind of like the world they're in is their enemy a lot of the time. Even like something like Finding Nemo is like there's kind of multiple villains, but it's really just the ocean,
Yeah.
And Pixar is very, very good about that, not having like a singular figure. Rather kind of you're kind of conquering your own fears usually in Pixar movies, It's such an interesting, like you said, the studio has made me cry so much more than any other studio, and they continued it again. That's a really good point about how Onward is kind of just a journey. That's all it is. It's really amazing.
It's a movie about discovering who you are and coming to terms with the fact that you know, Dad's gone. He's not
Yeah.
coming back, and you have to deal with that. And Pixar does that so well. They make you deal with things.
Yes, confront it. Yeah.
Every movie has a bit of that, and Onward's no exception. And I know that Soul was going to have that too.
Oh man, I can't wait for Soul. Oh boy, that's gonna be wonderful. It's been I feel like that's a subject matter like that, the world of music, and that had to be made, right?
Well, it's going to be a film that directly deals with death. It's the big one for Pixar.
Yes, I can't. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And why not? I mean, they've tackled everything else. Why not?
Yeah.
And yeah, Onward was just beautiful. It has an IMDb score of 7.5, Rotten Tomatoes score of 87%, and prior to the movie theaters shutting down due to coronavirus concerns, it had grossed 104 million worldwide. So it was doing well. It was on track to be a big hit. But shit happens.
Yeah, unfortunately, some movies didn't even get to come out. So it. At least people had you got to have that experience in the theater.
I did. Yeah.
I'm quite jealous of that, to be honest.
It was great. There's a lot of little stuff you notice, and as always, Pixar's animation is unrivaled. They got the best team in the game, and just it's little stuff like the stubble on Barley's chin and the cool little things happening in the background, reflections in characters' eyes. It really sells that this is a real world. It doesn't feel like a cartoon. It feels like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, and they've been doing that. They've been doing that since Toy Story, man. In Toy Story, 1995, there's I like to point out the one scene when Woody is in the back of the Pizza Planet truck by himself. Some of that stuff, it's like kind of dark. All the colors are amazing, and it's like, how do they do this shit where they really care about every little line, little nook and cranny on each scene, which is why they're the best and why they always make good money.
I mean, they invented this technology for the most part. Yeah. Monsters Inc. took like 3 years to make because they were animating every single hair on Sullivan's body. Like, just the care and effort speaks for itself with these guys.
I love that. Yeah.
Fantastic. And we've brought up Toy Story before. It was in my top 10 of the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's another it's their first film. It does not feel like their first film. It feels like they've been doing this for years before they did Toy Story. And the animation still holds up today, which is remarkable.
I know, man.
There's no weak links in the animation. There's some story weak links. Like, I've heard the Cars sequels are pretty shit, but I haven't seen those yet. So
yeah, I would say those are definitely. I would say Cars 2 and 3 are the weakest, and then I would say, oh man. And then, I'm not a huge fan of Monsters University. I'm not a huge fan. But aside from that, man, it is a damn near perfect world. It really is great.
And I've heard, a theory that all the films are somehow connected, like it's telling some ongoing story of mankind being destroyed by inanimate objects that became sentient.
Yeah, no, there's a book that John Negroni wrote called The Pixar Theory. Yeah, and it connects. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty convincing. I believe it for sure. I think they all intertwine, and there are definitely there's a bigger picture thing going on in the Pixar world that is not necessarily for kids. And I don't even know if it's for adults. It's just there if you can catch it or not. Yeah, that's really fun stuff, and I definitely think we'll get into it one day here on Filmgazm.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's ripe for an awesome discussion right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes me wonder where Onward fits into that.
Yeah, no, I actually, before we started recording, was trying to find if he had, because John Negroni has kept up with because he did that right after Brave came out. So, we had Inside Out come out, we had Toy Story 4 come out, we had Coco come out, we had Onward. So I was trying to find some stuff, and he hasn't updated it yet. So I'm guessing he probably just watched it like most humans. Just got to watch it this past weekend.
Yeah.
As it came out on Friday. So I know I think Josh actually watched it recently with his, and he is raving about it. So yeah, Filmgazm definitely loves Onward, and it's made me honestly question my top 5. Like, I was thinking maybe maybe it should fit in there. I don't know, man. It's a tough group to crack, but I don't know. It was a good one.
Yeah, man. It's I love that a film like a company like Pixar can bring out emotion and happiness and joy in it. Like I would say I'm going to throw Caleb into this too. 4 horror loving geek nut jobs.
Yeah.
can find love, like a love of animation with this. It really speaks to everybody, Pixar.
Yeah, it really does. That's the best way to put it.
That's so cool. I guess we'll go into the plot of this thing, talk about the movie.
Let's do it.
So this is a world inhabited by mythical creatures, centaurs, manticores, banshees, maybe. You don't see one, but I'm sure. And all sorts of stuff. A world where magic is everywhere. And it's difficult to master, though. Not everybody can be a sorcerer. You have to have the gift. You have to have the spark. But when the light bulb's invented, people start becoming more lazy. They start becoming more comfortable with the easy way. And this magical world evolves into, like, our society of just skyscrapers and cars and, workout videos and all sorts of shit. And everyone's just kind of like unicorns are a public nuisance. And the cop is a centaur. Things like that. It's cute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, great world building as something that they're masters at as well.
Oh, for sure. Their town is called New Mushroomton.
So good.
And we meet our hero, Ian Lightfoot, played by Tom Holland. He's a high schooler. He's an elf. He's insecure. He's not very self-confident. He's worried about the future. He's on the cusp of manhood, and he doesn't feel like he's got anything going on in his life. He feels, he never met his dad. His older brother, Barley, played by Chris Pratt, he's a history and an RPG fanatic. So in this world, Dungeons and Dragons is history. Like, that really happened. And he's obsessed with kind of reliving the past.
Yeah.
And I like these two characters because I feel like Barley reminds me a bit of you, and I'm very much Ian.
I love that. That's great.
But he's just, he's funny, he's upbeat, and he's a good brother. But he's also kind of a screw up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And did he remind you of Jack Black in Orange County at all?
I could totally see that. Oh my god.
Lance?
It's Lance. There's no way that was not an influence. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, just Jack Black in general. That's what I got a lot. That's what they were going for. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. Bit of School of Rock, bit of Orange County. I could see that.
Yeah.
So their mother, Laurel, she's played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She has a boyfriend, a centaur cop named Colt Bronco.
So good.
The most horse cop name you could think of. And he's kind of a goofy, mom's boyfriend kind of guy. He's not an asshole. He's just concerned, and he's tired of dealing with Barley's shit.
Yeah.
Barley's constantly getting in trouble with the law, protecting monuments like old fountains and stuff, and he just it's funny, but Bronco just wants Barley to, to quote Walter White, apply himself. And this trip was good for all of them. Their father died. His name was Wilden. He died shortly before Ian was born, so Ian never met him. Barley was just a young kid. And on Ian's 16th birthday, Ian decides to try to reinvent himself. He wants, new year, new me, that kind of thing. And he makes a list of things he wants to do, to try to better himself. He wants to be more outspoken. He wants to learn how to drive. He wants to invite people to his party. And most importantly, he wants to be like Dad. And it's you really get it on an emotional level. Like, yeah, of course. Like, it doesn't, I love the elven stuff, the fantasy world, but on the, at the very core of this movie, it's a very emotional family drama about a kid who never met his father.
Yeah, and you have that one really, really powerful scene with the the father of the other child, who's like, "Oh, I knew your dad. He was so bold."
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, "Oh, I gotta be like my dad. I gotta be bold." Yeah, it's those like really humane moments that remind you of like why you like films in general, not just cartoons or animated films, but films in general. That like that emotion where you're like, "Oh, I relate to that." Like everybody needs to or wants to be loved, you know.
Yeah.
So and Pixar, yeah, is so good at highlighting those moments.
There's a relatable strain of story in every single Pixar movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's what keeps these from, it's what keeps these alive Toy Story came out in 95, so 25 years now of Pixar movies, and they all speak to somebody.
Yeah.
It really is remarkable. And Onward is, God, it could have been so big. It had a budget of $200 million. It only made half of that because
I know.
Oh.
Really sucks. Yeah.
So Ian goes to high school. He goes to school on his birthday, and he doesn't accomplish any of these. He's too scared to merge onto the highway. Boy, did that speak to me.
Dude, yeah. Man, I fucking hated driving school.
Oh, my God.
Shit was terrible. It took me a long time to get my license.
Tell me this. Was your driving instructor an overweight, angry, bald man?
Actually, he was a skinny, bald, angry man.
Oh, you had the other one. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the only two. Yeah.
I had Jasper, you had Horace, yeah.
Dude, I had two different driving instructors, and they were the same shape, the same, like, personality, and they were both just constantly angry, intimidating, bitter old men.
Ugh, gross.
And they made me drive from Blanco to San Marcos, with two other guys in the back, and I was so nervous the whole time. I was like, but the one guy kept going like, speed up, slow down, like over and over again.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What am I supposed to do, man?
Let your foot do the work. What?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Best part of getting my license was not having to deal with people like that anymore.
Just getting the fuck out of there, yeah.
But I remember being terrified to merge onto the highway, and I love that this movie addressed that.
Yeah.
I've never seen any movie address that.
Neither have I. Not even like in a live action movie. Yeah. That was great.
Yeah. He doesn't speak up with the guy putting his feet on his chair, so he just deals with that. He gets nervous inviting his lab partner people to the party. Barley shows up, makes an ass of himself, and he just gets nervous. So he doesn't accomplish anything on his list, so he's just down.
Yeah, what's up, gang?
You down for some cake? Oh, God.
Oh, I love that, man. That was great. I love the detail on all the other characters, like the side characters, the kids going to his school. That was just incredible.
I loved the restaurant Burgershire that had the marquee that said, now serving second breakfast. Little stuff, man. It's the best. The details.
So good.
So, knowing he's down, Laurel decides to give Ian a birthday present from Ian's dad. It was intended for Ian's 16th birthday. It was for him and Barley together, and it's a wizard staff. And there's a note. It's a spell describing it's a visitation spell that Wilden concocted that can resurrect him for a day so he can meet his grown-up sons. And Barley is, so excited, and he finds a phoenix gem in the package, and it's this gem that can perform this spell. It's the only way they can do this. He tries to do the spell, and it fails. Like, nothing happens because Barley has no gift. He has no magic powers. And he keeps trying this for like hours, and eventually they're all like, I guess it's a dud. Ian starts reading the spell, and the staff starts twitching.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew it was going to happen, but it was still
sweet. Yeah.
And the magic, he finishes the spell, and the spell starts recreating Dad from the legs down. It starts bringing Dad into this world, and him and Barley try to control this staff, but the Phoenix Gem explodes. It's not powerful enough, and all that comes back is Dad's lower half. It's It's hilarious and it's so weird.
It's perfect because that's when you get a really sweet moment between Barley. That's the way he like gets him to recognize who they are is like tapping his feet.
Yeah.
Which is a thing he recalled earlier. Like, oh yeah, like I used to tap Dad's feet when I was a kid. That's like a thing he has that his younger brother does not. Ian does not have because he doesn't remember his dad at all.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, and it also is very funny, and that is a very like ballsy thing to do in a movie in general. Is like imagine selling that to the production to Disney. You're like, all right, well these two guys are gonna be in this elvish world, and they're gonna find their they're gonna get their dad, but it's just gonna be the bottom half. Like that's just such a weird thing. But because it's Pixar and because the beginning of the movie is so captivating, you're like, all right, I'm in. Like this is great. Like let's go. But I don't know. I normally wouldn't be down for that. It was just done it's such a clever way and so funny. I loved it. So cute.
It really was. And they both realize so they've got a day to spend time with Dad before the spell is over. And they need to get another gem to finish this spell so they can actually talk to Dad and do stuff with him. So without telling Mom, they decide to embark on a quest to find this gem because Barley, through his role-playing game, I think it's called Quest of Yore.
Yes, yeah.
He believes that a map to this gem can be found at the Manticore's Tavern. And Ian just goes with it, and they decide to take off without telling Mom, believing that when they get back, they're going to have one hell of a surprise for her. And they take Barley's van, Guinevere. The van is a constant source of laughter, and I love the van.
Oh yeah, another very very Jack Black thing. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm surprised they didn't just ask him to do it.
They probably did. And he's like, no, I'm already Kung Fu Panda, man. I've already done my cartoon.
So they take off. Laurel finds Ian's room completely destroyed, and a note and the two cards indicating where they were going. So she takes off to go after them. Ian and Barley go to the Manticore's Tavern with Dad's legs, and they've kind of set up a big coat and a hat and some sunglasses to fit on top of Dad to make it look like he's a person.
Classic.
And, it's great. They go to the Manticore's Tavern, which is now like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I love that so much. That was great.
Yeah. The Manticore, this once fearsome warrior, is now worried about, like, the tater tots didn't go out in time. We need this. The karaoke machine's broken. What are we going to do? And that's Octavia Spencer.
Yeah. Well, who has just become a legend in doing voice work. Yeah, she's perfect.
Dude, she came out, like, she'd been doing work for, like, movies for years, but she just had, like, a big break in, like, the early 2010s and then just skyrocketed.
I know.
Everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. She's already an Oscar winner. Like, she's just, way to go.
Yeah, she's everywhere these days. And then it's cool to see her. She's also been, done some horror stuff, which is great.
Yeah. I got to see, I didn't see Ma, but I want to.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun one. Yeah.
I heard it was weird.
That's really crazy that, like, a year ago she did that, and then she's in Onward, I love that.
I love actors who diversify, who go all over the place.
That way, everyone will know who you are. Horror fans and...
Exactly.
And kids. Yeah, it's great. Or people like us who just watch fucking everything,
True. Very true.
Yeah.
So Ian and Barley argue with her about the map, and she's like, oh, here's the map. And she gives them a kid's menu that is based on her map.
Throws the crowns at him, yeah.
And Barley's like, no, the original map. And she's like, oh, it's over there. And he takes it off the wall, and she's like, you can't just take that. I'm not sending people on quests anymore. I'll get sued. I love that that's what she's afraid of. She'll get sued.
Brilliant.
And she won't give the map to them, and Ian is the one who gets upset about this. He starts, asserting himself and saying, I've never seen my dad. This is my only chance. I need that map. But the Manticore has like a panic attack where she's like, who am I? What have I become? This isn't me. And sets the place on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone starts running out, and she burns up the map, regrettably. And now all they've got is the kids menu. And when they when they're leaving, they're trying to get out of there. A burning log almost falls on Dad's legs, and Ian he finally conjures up enough like inner focus to use magic for the first time, and he saves Dad's legs. And it's nice. I love, I've seen this twice now, and I love the build up because it makes total sense. Like every scene is important in this one because it's all building towards Ian becoming himself, like finding himself, and I love that.
Yes, exactly. Especially, there's like a huge moment later where he has that reflective moment of finding out kind of who he is and just what's happened in his recent life within the movie that we just watched. It's really cool, really rewarding for us.
Yeah. One thing I also like is that his goal isn't to like go out with the popular girl or something like that. He really just wants some friends. Like that's all he wants is some friends and to know who his dad was. It's very small goals, and I like that. It's stuff we all want.
Yeah, just to be maybe not even loved, but just to be have some camaraderie,
Just to be liked.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, geez, it's a little oof.
No, yeah, it is. It's a big one. It's a tough one, man.
Oh my God. So Barley sees, he grabbed a menu that was already finished, a children's menu, and Raven's Point is the clue to where this Phoenix gem is. And Ian realizes, oh, that's a mountain at the edge of town. And they're like, all right, we got to go to the mountain. And Barley's like, no, that's too obvious. The path less traveled, that's where we got to go. And Ian's like, are you serious? We don't have that kind of time. And they kind of debate about this. And they decide, like, all right, we'll take the freeway. But Barley's still holding in his pocket, like, that's not the right way, though. Laurel arrives at the Manticore's tavern to find it completely on fire and talks to the Manticore. Her name's Corey. Cute. And she agrees to help Laurel find the boys because she didn't warn them about the curse that the Phoenix gem has on it, which can only be defeated by her sword, this thing called, I think it was called like Curse Crusher, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This like 5-foot sword. Awesome. And she and Laurel end up stealing that from a pawn shop. Just cute. The pawn shop lizard was played by Tracy Ullman.
Yeah, which was fucking great. Yeah.
So Ian and Barley are traveling towards the mountain, Raven's Point, and they run out of gas. So Ian decides he's going to use this enlarging spell to make more gas, and he screws it up because Barley won't stop talking, and he accidentally shrinks Barley, and that's cute. They go to a gas station, and Barley pisses off a motorcycle gang of pixies. That was cute because he's like, you used to fly, and she's like, are you calling me lazy? He's like, no, your ancestors. I'm calling them lazy. Oh my God. So because Barley's so tiny, they have to flee, and Ian has to drive. So he now has to summon up enough courage to merge onto the freeway to escape from this gang of pixies. And Barley's giving him pointers, saying, you can do this. You're a warrior. You're gonna be fine. And they evade the pixies by using the supercharged air conditioner that Barley has that like flies him out of the car.
Perfect.
And Barley's becomes regular size again when the magic wears off. And before that, they get pulled over by the cops. Or after that, they get pulled over by the cops. And Dad's legs come out first, and he looks like a drunk teenager. And they're like, "You having a fun night, pal?"
Yeah. How you doing, pal? Yeah.
And the cops are Lena Waithe and Ali Wong.
Yeah, which is just so good. I love that.
And Ian and Barley use another spell, a disguise spell, to look like Colt Bronco. But every time Ian lies, the spell starts wearing off. And he's kind of talking to the cops, and they're like, "Oh, so this is Laurel's kid?" He's like, "Yep, he's a handful, that one." And it's funny because Ian kind of unloads his personal insecurities on them by freaking out, and they're like, "No, it's okay. It's tough being a new parent." It's a great scene.
Yeah, I love that part. Well, of course, they ask him like, a question about barley, and he realizes that he's like kind of talking shit,
Yeah.
without really meaning to. Ian like accidentally talks shit about barley, so it's really sad.
Yeah.
And kind of the first time that those two are totally not getting along,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's frustrating as a viewer. You're like, no, you guys have to stay together.
Well, it's sad because they ask him, like, that Barley's a real screw up, and Ian says, no, he's not, and the spell slightly wears off, and Barley's like, oh, you think I'm a screw up? Ah. And in that one scene, one of the cop, Lena Waithe's cop character, mentions that, like, her girlfriend's kid is always all over the place, and that was one of the first, like, openly gay characters we've gotten in a Disney movie.
Yeah, and of course, that I really like that because it wasn't even hidden or subtle. It was just like, yeah, that's there, that's happening. Lena obviously is a big voice in that community, and that was really cool that she got to play a cop character. That was just great. It worked.
Yeah. Well, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be this big, overly flamboyant, like, oh, that's clearly a gay character. It's just, it's stuff like that. It's like, my girlfriend's kid's all weird too. Because that's the way it is in real life. People are normal. People are just, getting through their day to day. And I like that this movie addressed it that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really cool. Pixar's always been ahead of the curve on that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now that they've escaped the cops, they get to this drawbridge. Barley manages to convince Ian to go on the path of peril, this path less traveled, convinced that that's the real way to get to the Phoenix Gem, that the freeway's a waste of time and they're going to end up nowhere because the mountain's a red herring. And scene. Ian uses a bridge spell that only works if he believes in it, if he believes with every step. And he's going over this big trench, this bottomless pit. He's got a rope tied to him, but then halfway across walking over the magic bridge, the rope falls off. Oh my God.
So good.
Barley's like, just keep going. Don't look back. You're going to be fine. Just hurry up.
He's like, oh, this is kind of fun. Yeah, go.
I can stay out here all day. Oh my God.
So intense.
Oh, and then he gets there. He's like, Dad, this last step's for you. And he looks behind him, and the rope's gone. And he gets over to the other side. He lowers the drawbridge, but he's got this 1,000-yard stare in his eyes the whole time. Barley drives the van over, and Ian's just like, how long was the rope gone? And Barley's like, not even halfway. Like, I needed that rope. And Barley's like, did you? Ian was able to do this without a support system. He was able to do this himself.
Because of magic.
Mm-hmm. Or was it magic, or was it finally he had some confidence?
Yeah. Confidence magic.
That's the real magic. So they find a statue of a raven that's pointing to more raven statues, and Ian realizes Barley was right. Raven's point is this: he was having them going the wrong way, and Colt ends up following them, and he runs into them and he demands they come home, even though they're like, but we got to get Dad. He's like, nope, I can't. Nope, I promised your mother. Like, no more shenanigans. I'm taking you home. And Ian and Barley get in the van, and Ian's like, hold on, and he takes off. He runs away from Bronco, and it's a big moment for his character. Where he's like, I'm seeing Dad. Nothing's stopping me. And Bronco called in reinforcements. Now they're being chased by a bunch of cops, and they've come to a dead end. And Ian can't do the arcane lightning spell. He's not powerful enough to do that, so they can't get away. They're stuck. So my absolute favorite scene of the movie, and I have laughed so hard both times. Barley sacrifices Guinevere the
Yeah.
van to cause a landslide, and he puts in this like Road to Valhalla
Yeah.
mixtape, sets a rock on the gas and like hits it to go, and the tire goes out, so it's like it's galloping.
Yeah.
I can't even talk about it without laughing.
My favorite bit is when he rubs the dashboard like, come on, buddy. Oh yeah, that is a genius scene.
For me, it's the tire breaking and the gallop. That was perfect. And it just sails into the spot. Oh my god, it was perfect. Oh,
so true to his character. Oh, I love it.
Oh my god. So they gave up. Yeah, Barley sacrificed Guinevere, and he picks up a headlight a piece of the headlight and puts it in his pocket. He's like, it was just a van. Clearly, this van meant a lot to him.
Oh yeah. Understandable. That thing was awesome.
Oh, it was crazy. And if I was, unemployed and pretending to be a rock star, I would want a van like that.
Like Jack Black in School of Rock. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. It is it's not even pretending.
No. Who cares?
So they follow the statues and they end up at a cave, and they find this X-shaped key that they pocket. They go into the cave, and what do they run into but a gelatinous cube? This creature that Barley's deathly afraid of, that he keeps mentioning from his game. So funny. This giant, just like Jello looking thing that eats anything it touches, and they start running through the gauntlet. And it was so great. They get out and they end up in this like tank that's filling up with water. They use Dad to hold the door open. They get up, and where do they end up? But right in front of their high school.
Yeah.
Ooh. Suddenly, Ian's upset and horrified and pissed as he realizes Barley led them excuse me, through nothing. Like, it was all pointless. There's no way to get the Phoenix Gem now. He's convinced that it was the mountain, that they were going the wrong way this time. And he calls Barley a screw up and walks away to spend what little time he's got left with Dad's legs. And before that, though, when they were riding the Cheeto through the water, Barley told Ian that his worst memory of Dad is that he didn't get to say goodbye. That he was too scared to go see Dad when he was dying, when he had tubes in him in the hospital. Very real moment in a Pixar movie. Like, I can picture that. You don't often get that kind of insight into like real death in a kid's movie. Yeah.
Good call. And like you said, I think that's giving us like a little bit of a warning before Soul.
Yeah, I think this was going to be the appetizer, and that one was going to hit hard.
Yeah.
Oof. Boy. So after that, they find out they went nowhere, and so Barley is still like, he's at that fountain that he was at the beginning, trying to find some next clue, something. And Ian is sitting with Dad, looking through his list and realizing that everything he wanted to do with his dad, he did with Barley throughout his whole life. That Barley's been a father figure to him the whole time. And oh man, that got me hard, man. I was like,
sweet.
I was sobbing.
Yeah, they go back and show him like, you got Ian's being taught how to ride a bike by Barley. Just little things that you do as a kid.
Yeah, how to swim.
Yeah, just such a sweet moment. And I have two older brothers, and that they definitely. My dad's been around for sure, obviously. You know that, Connor.
Yeah.
But it still had a huge impact where there's certain things in my life that my two older brothers, had they not been there, nobody would have taught me or that kind of thing. So it's just, yeah, dude, big time moment.
Oh, for sure, man. I bet this. The second I saw it, I knew you were going to be hit pretty hard with this one.
Yeah, my oldest brother Adam, he's 28 now. Yeah, he saw it in theaters as well, and he was like, "Oh my god, dude!" He texted me right away, and Yeah, said the same thing. Like, you're gonna love it. It's gonna destroy you. He's like, get ready to cry a couple times. So yeah, no, yeah, I was not let down at all, and that moment was huge, man.
Oh, for sure. So Barley ends up finding a keyhole that fits that X they found earlier, puts it in the fountain, and finds the Phoenix Gem. He was right.
Yes.
But when he takes it out, he triggers that curse that the Manticore was talking about. This red smoke starts pouring out of the fountain. I thought it was going to kill Barley when I first saw this. I was like, no.
Yeah, could not have Barley die. There's no way.
Nah, man. But the curse starts sucking in everything around it, starts like absorbing the high school, and becomes this giant stone dragon, which was so cool. The animation there was nuts. That was so
man.
Cool.
Fucking creepy.
So Ian sees the Phoenix Gem and is like, oh my god. And he starts using magic to fight this dragon. And the Manticore shows up with Mom. And that's awesome because she like starts fighting the dragon and Mom's on her back like, yes.
I love that. I love when the mom grabs the sword. So great.
So Ian does the spell, starts forming Dad, and realizes, he's somebody's got to distract us. And Barley says, I'll go distract him. You say, like, you talk to Dad. And Ian's like, no. I'll go distract him, and you say goodbye.
Because, yeah, and he does that for a few reasons, I think, or at least a couple. One, he's being really cool and letting, being a good brother. And two, he knows that there's no way if Barley goes to distract, this won't work. Then no one will talk to him because this thing will kill. I can go distract because I have magic and I can actually do something about distracting him. So it was like a very selfless move in two ways.
Yeah.
And I love that because he like totally found his identity right in that moment. I can use magic. I'm the one who should take down this giant beast and let him have the moment. And if Barley had the magic, he'd do the same thing, man. This was it's a two-way street with these brothers. That's what I love so much. It's great.
It was great. It was great. And in this scene, when Ian goes, to fight the dragon, he uses all the spells he learned.
Yeah.
He's found himself. He knows
and Tom Holland right there, man. That's Tom Holland. You're like, oh, there's fucking Spider-Man. Yeah. So cool. He's so good at like making silly ass spells sound really, really believable and cool.
Yeah.
Tom Holland is like become in the past 3 years, I'd say, one of the biggest names in the entire world as far as films go.
Yeah.
If you're a kid, who the hell is cooler than him?
It is neat, man. He really did come out of nowhere to be just one of the A-listers, and all that could be, all that is Spider-Man. But he is definitely going to be doing more, and I'm so excited. I still don't see him as Nathan Drake, but I don't know. Maybe the movie will be creative.
Yeah, we'll see. Got my fingers crossed on that one.
So Ian faces the dragon, but his staff gets knocked into the ocean. But he finds a splinter in his hand.
Oh, dude.
Oh, so great. And he reforms the staff from that splinter. He uses the big spell, like the enlarging spell, and continues the fight.
He says, like, he's like, Dad says there's magic in every fiber. Oh, so good.
So cool. The sword ends up down in a puddle, like in a hole. The Manticore like has like a back pain. She can't fly anymore. And Laurel goes to grabs the sword, and like throws it. First, she like jumps up the sword, the dragon's back using her workout routine, which made me laugh. She's like, "I am a warrior."
Yeah,
it's great. But then
I am a warrior.
Ian uses that like acceleration spell and hurls the sword straight into the dragon's chest. Badass.
So sick. Yeah,
that was cool. The dragon collapses, trapping Ian in like a circle of wreckage, and he sees, like, out of one little hole, he sees Dad reform and talk to Barley for like 30 seconds. And Barley hugs him, and as he's hugging him, Dad fades away. Oh, damn. At least he got that, but dude, that hurt.
Yeah, I know. That was tough. And the music, of course, as always, is so it's just like gut wrenching.
It really is. And Barley then helps Ian out of the circle and tells him that Dad wanted him to give him something, and he gives him a big hug.
Oh. Jesus Christ. Oh, Pixar, you bastards.
So now Ian's confidence is at an all-time high. He's made peace with his dad and his brother and who he is. He's using magic to kind of teach the town about their history. He surprises Barley by painting his new van with an image of them two riding on a giant unicorn, and it's
so cool. I want that on a t-shirt. Yeah, I want an Onward t-shirt really bad, man.
Bitchin'. The Manticore reopens her tavern to its original tone, adventure and spirit and all that. And she's, embraced who she really is. And Mom is like hanging out with her all the time. They're kicking ass together. I love that. Bronco has, they've accepted his who he is in their life, and I love when he took off his hat and he's got this Fabio mane.
Yeah.
He starts running. It's great. And Ian and Barley are now, they're best friends with the same intent. They're questing and they're always, hanging out and doing stuff together. And now Ian uses magic to make the van fly. It was awesome. And it's just a very touching, entertaining, great movie that I really wish had been able to, be seen by more people in the theaters.
I know. It's such a magical movie, literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely am jealous of people who got to see it like you in theaters. But again, I'm beyond grateful for what some of the streaming services have done for people who are sitting at home, including Disney Plus with this. You got to think there's other stuff up like Netflix's sleeve or something.
Yeah.
But this was a really good start to me. With this coming out over the weekend, people can just kind of hopefully relax and enjoy a really good story.
Oh, for sure. And the writer and director was Dan Scanlon.
Yeah.
He came up with this. It was inspired by his own father's death when he and his brother were younger, and how their relationship evolved. He sees his brother as a father figure. So it was very clearly personal. You could tell just from the movie. And,
for sure.
He decided to write this after he heard an audio clip of his father.
God.
Like all Pixar films, this was planned years in advance. This is July 2017 was when this was first announced. So
yeah.
It takes a while to make these movies.
It does. It shows that the craft is there. Like you said, I love the Monsters Inc. They took years to make sure that Sully looked perfect.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't. It's not Monsters Inc. You need those characters. And yeah, I've been watching before Onward came out. I've been just kind of like in that world from I would say Wednesday to Friday. Pretty much watching Pixar movies nonstop. Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, Bug's Life, Ratatouille, just kind of random ones all throughout the day leading up to Onward coming out. So it's you just reminded every time of how many great characters there are, how many great voice performances they get from people very, very famous people, and then the music, man. The music is always just there. It's such a constant, and it does not. Onward is the same way. Onward has a couple guitar riffs that are fucking sick.
Dude, that ride to Valhalla when Guinevere sacrifices itself. Dude, that was some badass licks right there, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
You felt that.
I got that shit on Spotify already, man. Yeah. Ready to fucking roll.
Oh, for sure.
Can't be going on any quest anytime soon, but
Yeah, not for a while anyway.
Yeah.
This was Pixar's first film without John Lasseter.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because he resigned from Pixar last year after sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Accusations. Which that motherfucker, after all the wonderful kids movies he gave us and what he was who he really was, that fucking hurt.
Yeah, it really sucks. And doesn't that just isn't that getting old, where it's everything is getting kind of tainted because all these dickheads, these fucking douchebags, it gets annoying to me anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, regrettably, it
Yeah,
is.
it's just it gets old. It's fucking retired. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to not let it affect the work, because like I'm never gonna I can't. What am I gonna just not watch any Pixar movies anymore because he was involved in them?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not happening.
No, of course not. But we've talked about that before with Polanski and
Separating. Yeah.
We've gotten to we know what we're doing at this point.
Yeah, it just gets old, man, because you want to have a good conscience about it, but they don't make it easy.
They don't. They really fucking don't. I give Onward a 9. I thought it was fantastic.
Same. Easy 9. Yeah. I actually, most Pixar's, I'd say are 8 or 9, right? Or there's a few like Toy Story's a 10 in my opinion, and yours. But Onward right away, like right when it finished, I was like, oh, that was damn near perfect, I'm definitely gonna try to buy it and watch it again and again, that sort of thing. It's one of those. I really like it. I'm really excited to see what's next for Tom Holland. Like you said, we'll see if he's good with Drake, that character. But I don't know. I'm really excited because he can kind of go anywhere from here. When you've been Spider-Man, then you've been in 2 giant animated movies. The world's yours.
2. What was the other one?
Spies in Disguise.
I remember that. Was that a success?
Yeah, it did pretty well. It did well as a kids movie usually does.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't do what a Pixar movie normally does, but it did well. Yeah.
We can both speak from personal experience working at Alamo Drafthouse that there's very few kids movies that aren't financially successful.
Yeah, no kidding, man. God.
Yeah, people take their kids to see anything.
Especially at Drafthouse, it's like here's some mozzarella sticks. Shut the hell up.
That's parenting, I guess. Oh boy. Well, I hope this new format worked out for you. I want to thank you guys for sticking with us through all this. I know that you have your choice of movie podcast, and I'd like to thank you for choosing Filmgazm.
Indeed.
This week we're gonna have The Cell for you on Wednesday. Weird movie. I know you haven't watched it yet.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow night. Yeah.
It's surreal. Requires a great deal of focus because it's very much like real world, dream world kind of movie.
Great. Well, I just finished Twin Peaks today, so.
So you've been in that vein for quite a while.
Well, in one of the episodes, fucking Cooper says, he's like, "You're all in a dream." You're like, okay, well, that answers that, Jesus Christ. So yeah, no, I'm always open to that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll definitely be an interesting one to talk about. It was like one of Vincent D'Onofrio's best performances. He is fucking scary.
Hell yeah.
Like seriously, I was having there was a couple moments where I'm like, ooh, just Jesus.
Good.
But yeah, cool movie, and we'll have that for you Wednesday, and expect as much content as we can do. We're gonna keep with the Skype thing for a while until this all blows over and settles down. We'll have a couple episodes on the back burner that we're gonna launch the next couple Sundays for you, and I guess I'll address what we're gonna be doing moving forward with the book next week. So until then, check this movie out. It's on Disney Plus, and great for the whole family. One of Pixar's best, and that's pretty much all we can say about it. It's just see it for yourself. It's worth a watch for sure.
Hell yeah, you guys enjoy. Have a good week.
Yeah, we'll catch you Wednesday.